Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Morgan Renee. Look, it's been a minute since we did Let's Learn About a Herb. Y'all don't let me fall off like that. Y'all ask, what's going on? Because we was reading these. The book got wet. It's loose on the bind. So this is, I've been reading different herbs from this National Geographic's Guide to Medicinal Herbs. And we just scroll through and see what's what and read it. And keep it moving. So let's see what we picked today. I think we did that one before. And I do have these uploaded on my YouTube. I'll share this link when I post this in my story time more in my group. We did psyllium. We did juniper. What's this? Sage. We have not done sage. Okay. Let's do sage. Now, why they show sage looking like that with the purple flowers? I don't know if I've ever seen sage flower. I've always just seen the leaf. All right, anywho, sage. Salvia officinalis, a classic seasoning herb for poultry and many savory dishes. Sage is a highly aromatic, shrubby perennial native to the northern Mediterranean coast. The genus name, salvia, comes from the Latin salvere, meaning to be saved or to be healed. Sage was sacred to the ancient Greeks and Romans. They believed it imparted wisdom and mental acuity. The Romans gathered the herb in a solemn ceremony that involved using a knife not made of iron, as sage reacts with iron salts. For many centuries, sage has also been linked with a good health and long life. 18th century herbalist John Evelyn took that one step further, writing that sage, 'tis a plant endued with so many and wonderful properties, as that the assiduous use of it is said to render men immortal. Medicinally, sage has played a role in many healing traditions. The ancient Egyptians believed sage could increase fertility. The Greeks drank preparations of sage to ease coughing and respiratory infections. I love how when it be given the history on these plants, it really take it back. So you know how long we've been utilizing herbs. We've been utilizing herbs and in different ways and rituals and routines. Like, herbs are nature is very much a part of our everyday life, okay? Down to the tea you drink in the morning. And if you're not drinking tea in the morning, why not? Water, tea, smoothies, fresh juice upon the rise, okay? In India, herbal healers gave patients sage to reduce soreness of the mouth and throat and to relieve indigestion. The Romans probably introduced sage to much of Europe and England, where it has been planted in herb and kitchen gardens since medieval times. Herbals written during the Middle Ages record that sage was used for a wide variety of ailments. In fact, the French call the herb tout est bon, which means all is well. Sage was prescribed for coughs, colds, and headaches, as well as to purify the blood and aid conception. Sage leaves also were chewed to whiten yellowing teeth. Today, sage-based natural deodorants are sold at most health food stores since sage can reduce perspiration. Many natural mouthwashes contain sage as it kills bacteria responsible for gum disease. Modern herbal practitioners recommend sage for coughs, colds, and bronchitis. Hot sage tea can soothe sore throats and tonsillitis. Sage is also taken for gastrointestinal disorders and menopausal symptoms and to slow dementia. Sage popping. Okay. It says sage's delicate blue-violet flowers and coarse, woolly, gray-green leaves have been used medicinally for millennia. So when I seen this picture, when I opened the book, I was shocked. I've never seen the sage plant bloom. I've always only seen those leafy, woolly, leafy leaves of it that are like gray-green. Okay, so we got a timeline at the bottom. AD 50 to 70. Greek physician Dioscorides, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, writes of sage's use in stopping bleeding in wounds. In 1597, English herbalist John Gerard described sage as good for the head and brain. 17th century, Salvia officinalis is introduced to North America. 1772, the virtues of British herbs credits regular intake of sage with living to advanced age. Okay. All right. Common garden sage is a member of the largest genus in the mint family. There are 800 to 900 species of salvia, most found in the subtropics and tropics of the New World. Among this great pool of genetic diversity, only one species, Salvia officinalis, is found in every kitchen spice rack and nearly every herb garden. As the species name officinalis signifies, it was once the official sage of the apothecary's shop. Sage is a perennial shrub growing to about 2 feet in height. The erect branch stems have dense and tangled woolly hairs that give it a silver gray appearance. This book doesn't do it justice, but it really is like a greenish gray and very light wool, like it has little hairs on it. Opposite, on short stalks, the 3-inch leaves are greenish blue above with crinkled veins. Beneath, the leaves are white and hairy. The attractive flowers, about 1 inch long and tall, are usually blue to violet, but may also be pink or white. Growing habits of sage. Common garden sage is native to dry, rocky soil, stony slopes, and dry grasslands from northern and central Spain, east through the southern France to the Balkan Peninsula. It is abundant in coastal mountain ranges in Albania, Montenegro, and Croatia. The common name sage is applied to many plants, often with a qualifying term. Some sage found in world markets is not Salvia officinalis, but Salvia frutiosa. When sage is harvested from the wild in Eastern Europe, proper identification is important, as S. frutiosa has higher levels of the toxic substance thujon in its essential oil. Cultivation and harvesting. Sage is propagated from seeds or cuttings. If grown from seeds, resulting plants are highly variable. Germination is also sporadic. Sage is best propagated for new growth stem cutting. Sage is best propagated from new growth stem cuttings taken from the plant's base, then dipped in a rooting hormone to stimulate growth and placed in coarse sand. Before planting outside, young plants should be grown in a protected situation until they become, vigorous. Plants should be given a 2-foot spacing. Sage likes a loose, well-drained soil without too much moisture. Even though sage is widely cultivated as a garden herb, the majority of the world's sage supply is wild harvested in coastal mountains in Croatia, Montenegro, and Albania. International sanctions imposed on former Yugoslavian states in the early 1990s resulted in Albania's emergence as the world's major supplier of sage. Therapeutic uses: sore throat, colds and coughs, memory, menopause, excessive sweating. Sage is said to clear the mind and improve memory. In fact, there may be a link between the herb and the mind. Researchers have shown that the essential oil of Salvia officinalis inhibits acetylcholinesterase, again, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, an enzyme targeted by Alzheimer's drugs. Animal studies and human trials suggest sage may improve mood and cognition in both healthy adults and those with Alzheimer's dementia. Sage tea has long been used as a remedy for sore throats, often being used as a gargle as well as for coughs and colds. Science has confirmed that sage is highly effective for relieving sore throat. One clinical trial of 286 people with acute sore throat found a 15% sage spray given over a period of 3 days to be superior to a placebo spray for relief symptoms. In fact, symptom relief occurred within 2 hours of the first treatment. Similar results were found when an echinacea/sage spray was compared with a chlorhexidine/lidocaine spray in 154 patients with acute sore throat. Germany's health authorities approved the use of sage as a treatment for excessive sweating based on traditional use in human studies. Sage may also have weak estrogenic properties, which may explain why it has been used to relieve night sweats associated with menopause. An 8-week study found that 1 gram fresh sage was superior to placebo for relieving night sweats. Sage is often included in combination with other herbs designed to relieve hot flashes and night sweats and to improve memory and mood. Sage has been used to aid digestion, stimulate digestive enzymes, and alleviate intestinal cramping, hence its use with beans or other gas-producing foods. Sage exhibits antibacterial activity, which may explain its use for gastroenteritis gastroenteritis, or for other minor GI tract infections. How to use. So tea, you can steep 1 teaspoon chopped sage in 1 cup of water for 10 minutes, strain, drink, or use as a gargle for sore throat. Capsule, 500 milligram of sage leaf taken twice a day. Tincture, take 2 milliliters twice a day or follow manufacturer's recommendation. A tincture of 5 milliliters can be added to 1 cup water and used as a gargle 3 times a day. Precautions. The amount of sage consumed as a culinary herb is safe, but avoid larger amounts because of thujones present in the essential oil. Do not exceed recommended doses. Alcohol extracts of sage are higher in thujone than those made with water and should not be used internally for more than 1 to 2 weeks. A tincture diluted in water and used as a rinse or gargle is safe. Do not use sage internally during pregnancy. Okay, then we have an over-the-kitchen counter sage gargle. They are hard on this sage gargle. Combine 1 ounce dried sage leaves and 1 ounce dried thyme leaves in a coffee grinder. Okay. Grind and place in a quart mason jar. Cover with 16 ounces apple cider vinegar. Stir and close the jar with tight-fitting lid. Let sit for 14 days, shaking periodically. Strain and put in a dark-colored bottle. This mouthwash can be safely used for sore throats or also to freshen breath. Well, all right. Okay, Sage. We learned something new about you. So, yeah, that's Sage. And I'll get back to y'all another time. Let's learn about these herbs together. All right, I'll tune in with y'all again soon. Have an amazing day. Stay hydrated and get yourself carrying. Peace and love.